Welcome back to the adventures of Lord Jon Snow, who is now, of course, Lord Jon Snow, Stark Targaryen, of course, House Stark Targaryen. That should have been pretty obvious. Last episode, we invited Howland Reed and went through a whole bunch of rigmarole, a whole bunch of broken events, to eventually become legitimate. House Stark Targaryen, we have the blood of House Targaryen and the blood of House Stark. Rhaegar Targaryen, your father, died at age 24. What a tragic time. And of course, Daenerys, your wife, it just says wife, it doesn't say wife, aunt, which is probably for the best. Although, I feel like now, and I might be wrong on this, but now that we are legitimately her relative, I believe there is a higher chance of getting incest. Now, I'm not sure if that was true before they were related, or before this event fired, and obviously Rhaegar became Jon's father. I'm not sure if that's the case, but we will keep a very close eye on that and sort of make sure that we don't end up playing as a horrible inbred freak. Speaking of which, the children are definitely in the next judge of generation, simply because we've been following this sort of character quite closely, and we're doing a lot of character play. We've had a lot of characters kicking around here. Daenerys is, and all of this has sort of fed into my decisions to try and roleplay it a little bit. But next generation, I'm opening up the floodgates. We're going all in, regular CK2, obviously not regular CK2 at all, but CK2 without that influence of a pre-existing work. This is our character, our design, a character that's been created by the mechanics of the game, so I'm kind of happy to play that basically however we want. High Lordship of Dragonstone, High Lordship of King's Landing, High Lordship of Intwell. It's got some weird claims here. We don't actually have claims on King's Landing, because to my knowledge, you have to actually be Emperor to make yourself, or to give yourself the claims that you would have if you were legitimate there. So what have we got? We can commission a sepulchre. I think that's a waste of time. I think we want to still be forming the Kingdom of Vandalos. But now that Illyrio Mopatis is gone, the man who took pity on Jon Snow, gave him land, the current ruler of Pentos does not like us at all. Through opinion. We are a foreigner. He is zealous. He is a foreign religion. At any moment, he might say, hey, give me that title back. We could go to war against Pentos and take Pentos and use that as the base of operations. Westeros version 2.0, Iron Throne version 2.0. Use that to fight off winter. To fight off the, obviously the cold ones or whatever the hell. What are they called? They're not cold ones, that's Jerry King. White Walkers, there we go. I couldn't remember what they were goddamn called then. Open council position, so our Justicia. Who was our Justicia? Varys? Where's Varys gone? Varys, where have you gone? He's gone to join... Oh, he's actually left us and has instead joined Tycho Theris. Interesting. I guess Daenerys, then, you get to become the new Justicia. Daenerys not really known for being a diplomat, not really known for her good decisions when it comes to courtly matters. Are those the White Walkers? Who are these guys? Who are you? Pirate Lord. Oh, right, Pentos. Okay, so Pentos has declared war on these guys to vassalize them. Okay, that's understandable. Part of the Rhaenyra, apparently. So these are pirates kicking around the Rhaenyra. The province I was talking about last episode, the province where all the stone men are sent up from Volantis, is called the Sorrows. That is right there. We want to avoid that one as much as possible. It's full of stone men, full of disease and death and horrors. I wonder if there's some unique events associated with that. So say, for example, we were to take Summerhall in Westeros. There are certain events associated with that only fire when you have Summerhall back. Similarly, the same applies to Oldstones. There are certain events that fire if you are the Lord of Oldstones. I imagine there are some unique things associated with the Sorrows as well, but we won't worry about that. I feel like it's something for the future. So, in the background, along with also potentially going to war with Pentos at some stage, because I can't imagine they like us too much, is also forming the Kingdom of Vandalos, just because it's there, it's unfounded. Maybe we can make an alliance with some of these people and grab some land here and there. A son called Haerys. He's astute. That's good. This kid is quick, but he is sickly. This is the guy we would probably want to inherit then. Curious or fussy, or we could go for conscientious, which obviously comes out to be a good trait, or we could go for struggle and training to be a good warrior. Haerys Targaryen. You will be a warrior. A warrior that will hopefully... Wait, Targaryen? Why Targaryen? Haerys Targaryen, your son. We're not matrilineally married. Was she pregnant before they divorced and remarried with him being a legitimate household now, before she took his coat of arms rather than the other way around? Could be true. That's annoying, because now we can't play as this kid. He's going to be House Targaryen. Oh, CK2, I hate you sometimes. Okay. Whatever. Fine. You know what? I'll accept that as part of the deal, really. Again, it's not exactly gone smoothly given, the scenario we set up here, but everything's fine now. We're good. We're past it. We've done that event. That's nothing to worry about. Okay. Commissioner Sepulchre, that is just a runestone. I'm almost entirely certain that is just a runestone. Others will look more favorably upon you for a time. It does sound like it. I can't be bothered to spend 100 gold on a runestone just to get plus 10 vassal opinion or whatever. We don't have any vassals. It's not really worth it. Worried about your newborn son, Haerys. It's not mine, it's House Targaryen. Master Egon, you must attempt to save poor Haerys. So we are going to play the eugenics game as well. There we go, he's got a second chance there. As we're House Targaryen, can we marry these kids together? Could we say take Daenerys, arrange betrothal between her and... We can. Oh, interesting. So we have access to those mechanics. The other thing I'd like to do is maybe not have Chrysanis be educated by a Northman Faith of Seven culture. I think we want to be High Valyrian, don't we? I think that'd be kind of cool. So let's assign you a guardian, and let's give you to Daenerys. And then we'll go change to heritage. And then hopefully she will, or he will assimilate. Oh shit, we can't. Oh wow, if she is High Valyrian, she can't educate him. He has to be born High Valyrian. Wait, what? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. What is his goddamn mother? Does not publicly follow Faith of the Seven. And she also has to be Faith of the Seven. That's confusing. Okay, never mind then. Because she's not... Oh, she is Faith of the Seven, though. What is going on here? Who knows? More to the point, she can't educate him because she's High Valyrian. Apparently, she can't pass down that culture to her children. Alright then. Never mind. Okay, I take that back. We'll just educate them ourselves then. That's a bit of a weird game mechanic, huh? It's a bit weird that she wouldn't be able to educate her own son in the ways of her people, but that's going to piss off Daenerys because we've actually changed her mind. I'm sorry. I'm going to train to be a proper Northman instead. Let's go for, what did we go for last time? I think we were going for Thrift. We'll stick with Thrift because he doesn't have any, you know, intelligence-based traits. He doesn't have any mental traits. Sansa died of poor health. Goodbye, Sansa Stark. What a shame. Oh, that's my courtier Sansa. That was fake Sansa. So, like I was explaining last time, there was a fake Arya, fake Sansa. That was fake Sansa. After I told Darren it was time to head on home, he looked at me with a grin on his face and told me to race him home. Sure, race him. There we go. He's getting playful. That's fine, because that can become gregarious, so I don't think that's too bad. So again, focusing all on what we're going to do in the future is definitely paramount. Now, building up our power base in Essos definitely wouldn't hurt. Could also maybe rebuild Valyria, but seeing as we've done that recently, I don't particularly want to do that again in a hurry. I think just forming, you know, maybe a new kingdom, or maybe making them into tributaries, that could be pretty good. To help him out in the war and reclaim the Iron Throne, sort of do a Daenerys, what she did with Slaver's Bay, but instead use the free cities and their troops to take back the Seven Kingdoms, which is clearly going well, as you can see there, for the Iron Throne, and literally everybody else in the fucking world. This is going to be a hard war. This is going to be a really, really hard war. Position of command, and now they've also gone for medium crown authority, which is horrifying, because like I said, we are a foreign ruler in a foreign realm with a foreign religion against a guy who's zealous, so he's... Oh. Oh, right. So the actual king of UT, sorry, the emperor, the Utish emperor joined the war as a defender. So his other people are now part of that, just by default. I think that war's over. If I was them, I'd just make that a lost cause and give up. Right, let's also not make ourselves a commander, because I think we need to, you know, be kicking around a little bit. Okay, so, Jon Snow, what can we do with you while we've still got control over Mr. Jon Snow? Let's get rid of that. Found a kingdom, that's basically what we're aiming for right now. Of the pox. A pox. Maybe shut the gates, because if Daenerys dies... Or, you know, Jon dies somewhere a little bit screwed. Secluded with courtiers. Some commoners have already gathered outside the guards. Outside. As your guards start closing the gates. Thank you. We can also convert to Pentosh Jorah Law. Obviously, we're not going to do that. I don't think that suits any of our characters we've got now. Maybe some of our characters in the future. It would make sense, especially for their descendants. You know, his father was resurrected by the Red God and was supposedly Azor Ahai Reborn. They said the same to his mother, who was also used dragon fire and the whole Targaryen fire and blood thing. Oh god, this again? The forces of winter have gone as far south as they can. Every war they win, it seems to be, when they, Oh man, look at that. They've actually got every province that is part of the Iron Throne now. All of the Iron Islands are gone. What do they do now, then? Do they go across the Stepstones? And then what? Oh god, I'm kind of frightened. The Citadel and Order of Maesters have no home. Oh god, of course they don't, do they? Do we want to land the Maesters in Pentos? Of course we do, that'd be awesome. Citadel and the Order of Maesters have no home. Perhaps if they swore fealty to us, we can give them a realm of their own. Awesome. We'll lose his title to the Citadel. So our friend here, Master Pylano the Wicked, my vassal, is going to give up the city of Velvet Peak to the Maesters. Done. That's cool. That's a really, really, really awesome event. I didn't know that existed. So we now have the Archmaester vassalized there. That's going to give some legitimacy to our realm. The last surviving cultural sort of bastion of the Iron Throne then in this case. Man, it really does feel like we're right up against it. I like that. I'm surprised they actually thought that far ahead. Anyway, it seems like such a weird thing to add to the game, you know? How often do they frequently lose their capital? I don't know. Chief General, let's train some children then. Howland Reed, train the children to obviously fight well, preferably. Madness and greatness are two sides of the same coin, and every time a new Targaryen is born, the gods toss the coin in the air and see how the world holds its breath. The chart seems mad. Daenora has a bit of the Targaryen madness, and speaking of Targaryen madness, Daenerys is about to have Babby. I would like to, if possible, build a dragon pit in Velvet Peak, because the last thing we want is to lose... Oh god, we can't because we're not a dragon rider? I was going to say, the last thing we want to do is lose either Drogon or Rhaegal, who apparently counts as his cousin. Oh my god, that's so good. Has she got a dragon rider? He hasn't. Why can't we tame you? Has it got... Okay, fine. One of them must be true. Rhaegal is not controlled by Daenerys Targaryen. It's untrue. Okay, then, that's fine. So when Daenerys dies... Oh, wait. No, wait. He's over there. Why is he over there? Invite to court. Must be an adult. Must not be prohibited from moving courts. Oh, he's in someone else's court. He's in a volcano in Draos, I assume, because dragons, when they leave there... Why is he over there? Who knows? What about Drogon? Drogon hasn't flown off as well, has he? No, Drogon is still here. Rhaegal is gone, which kind of sucks because I would like Jon Snow to become a dragon rider. Obviously, riding the dragon named after his father is pretty cool as well. That would also let us build a dragon pit, which means when Daenerys dies, the dragons won't just piss off everywhere. Jon Snow will have a little bit of, control over them. To the Magnificent Lord Jon, peace be with you. Absolutely not. I don't trust you, my friend. I feel like we are not long for this world under the vassalage of, whatever his name is, Magister Tycho of Plentos. The golden scales of trade, Samwell, also known as our economist, or whatever the hell they call him in this one. Our Lord Treasurer. Our Lord Treasurer, Samwell, wants to talk about the old tunnels under the castle. The argument is that they should be maintained better now that times are rough. You never know when you have to get out and quickly. I agree. You rummage through your things and hand Samwell a faded map of the tunnels. I think this is a good idea. Oh, I see what you're doing. I'm not telling you anything. What does that mean? What, is he suspicious that Samwell Tarly is going to assassinate us? No, I think he's right. I think there is a good chance that Pentos might turn up and ask for his titles back. There's a good chance that Jon Snow has made a hell of a lot of enemies who don't want Westeros restored. Splendid idea. Or Daenerys. You know, Daenerys also has a... Ooh, twins, okay. Daenerys also has quite a, made a lot of enemies during her lifetime. We've got Byam Stark Targaryen, who is terrible. So you are going to get... They're not abominations of incest, which is pretty good. I don't know why it doesn't count, though, because they are... Oh, because you know what? He's not actually a member of House Targaryen. It's a different house entirely. Yeah, the game can't really handle that too well, huh? His grandparents are Aerys the Mad and Aerys' son, Lord Rhaegar. Very confusing. Okay, so you are going to be training Thrift because you have no... he doesn't have Quick or Wise or Genius or Prodigy or any of those. Named Byam. What kind of name is Byam? Edwill, Mark, Harrion, Rodwell? Oh, it just takes... Oh, because he's Northman, of course. Northman culture. Haelys? Haelys sounds a bit more Targaryen. I feel like he'd embrace that. But, I don't think all of them would be named after Targaryen people. Choose focus then. Let's go for you. You can have Thrift as well. Tyrene. Doesn't sound particularly right. Wyler, Merla, Sarana. What about Lyanna? That seems a bit more appropriate that he would name him after his mother. 5 children. That's good. Oh, in fact, he's had 6. Because obviously those were twins. Nice. So House Stark Targaryen and also House Targaryen, weirdly, is also going to survive quite well. My liege, Samwell catches up to me as he was strolling down the main hall. He looks concerned. You order him to spit it out, whatever the news is. The tunnels, my lord. Guards have stumbled across tools and torches recently used. Oh, God. Okay, this is a great opportunity for an ambush. You order more guards to the tunnels, hoping to catch anyone sneaking in or out. Smugglers, maybe? The guards have captured someone in the tunnels. However, the person does not seem completely stable. Your guards' faces are not showing the usual bloodthirst when they present Tycho the Daring, a starved-looking and oddly jumpy person. Let's see what she has to say for herself. Also, would be a mercy to execute her. Jon Snow would not execute her. That's ridiculous. Let's see what she has to say for herself. You approach the locked door warily. Inside, Tycho is talking quietly to herself. The guards tell you that she claims to have a lover at the court. They were on their way back into the castle when her beloved fell ill. Devastation from the loss. She remained in the tunnel. She doesn't seem all there, my lord. Okay, so this is the in seclusion event, isn't it? Right. What do we do then? She might have the disease, I agree. We can let her join our court after her beloved died of pox. She can't risk it, she has to go. You know what? Jon Snow is a kind guy, but he isn't that kind. He is a man of duty and honor, and he has a duty to his courtiers. She's got to go. He would definitely not do that. My lord, Aegon, our... Oh, God, he's with the rank of Archmaester. Wait, what? Also Archmaester. He's on the governing body of the Citadel, sure. I wish you luck. We need to send for a new Maester, that's fairly annoying. I think they do it automatically, don't they, when your guy gets promoted? Fingers crossed. We could also build up our RAM a little bit, invest a little gold here and there, but I'm kind of saving it for whenever we fabricate a claim, which we might need to redo, because I have a feeling yeah, Justicia change. Oh, Daenerys, you're shit. Daenerys, you're so bad. I'm going to hire literally anyone besides you. Right, search all. Who wants to join the court of Jon Snow? Mance Rayder. That's not the Mance Rayder, I assume. Join court, yes. Lyra, she's very, very good. Faith of the Seven. House Donninger, sure. Invite to court, you'll do. 18, that seems pretty good. Obviously, a vast improvement to Daenerys. She's probably not going to be too heavy that we're sacking her from the job of Justicia. But again, she's not the most diplomatic person, is she? Right, hello? Where are you? You're here, then. Appoint? Oh, shit. Oh, right, okay, I see what it is. So only men can actually be on the council unless they are, you know, apparently Daenerys Targaryen. Okay, so we've got Jaehaerys Drinkwater, a Stone Dornish. You know what you'll do? Invite to court. Let's see what we've got here. Alright, so you should definitely be allowed on there, shouldn't you? He's of a noble house as well, so I can't see any reason why not. Daenerys, you are sacked because you're terrible. Nice, Jaehaerys. Okay, let's get you fabricating claims. So what do we not have? We don't have Father's Hill or Seven Stars, do we? We've got East Anderlos, Mother's Valley. Okay, so we want either of these two would be absolutely fine here. Let's go ahead and grab those as soon as possible. Nice. Brandon Stark has had Valyrian Steel Dagger added to his treasury. Maybe that's the one that Peter Baelish tried to have him murdered with. That's interesting. How do they keep getting these things? Because he's not the first person we've seen in this campaign to have been given a Valyrian Steel Dagger. Open council positions, court position. We need to... Okay, did they actually send a new Maester or not? Maybe we can't send for a new Maester. Oh, because we're secluded with courtiers. I was going to say, maybe it's where they've moved recently to a court. They need more time to establish themselves. It's worked. Kind of annoyed that we have to give them a whole city, though. But I guess that represents sort of Old Town. In the Tower, specifically. Where is it? The Citadel, that's it. In Old Town, it also counts as a city. I thought it'd be a temple holding, but no, that does kind of make more sense. What is that? Mild Winter, Winter Wasteland. Yeah, I don't know how the hell we're ever going to fight any wars in Westeros. Bear in mind, these people have no troops, because obviously it's a winter wasteland. And, you know, with that as well, it's... How have they got troops? I guess they're just undead, right? The last surviving undead people. So he's not going to have nearly as many troops as he would have if he was just a standard feudal ruler. But he does have still 106,000 men. Yeah, the Iron Throne normally has way, way more than that. So it's apparently respected. Well, that's great to know. My ward, Chrysanthus, is inquisitive and asks so many questions. I've become friends with him. We can also force him to train if we're not in isolation, I believe. Let's just take a look here. Yeah, if we're not in seclusion, we can force him to train once every year, I believe it is. So you can force train a child every year, but a child can only be forced... No, you can force train a child every 4 years, but you can't force train a child... Or a child can't be force trained more than once per year. Something like that. So we should do that as soon as possible, because there is quite a long cooldown on it. Yeah, we're still waiting for this fucking physician, huh? Can we open the gates now? Yeah, we're good. All right, let's just get that thing open. Probably not going to seclude ourselves with courtiers again. It's really not worth it, especially when Jon Snow has such high health. Again, it could the concern would be losing any of these kids. Offer them vague promises and apologies. I'm sorry about the dragon. We'll do much better in the future, I promise. Forced to train. Oh shit, my son has not improved his swordsmanship, and even worse, we've injured him. That was a 78% chance of success as well, what the hell. Alright, what about, so we can't force train any of the other kids, like I was saying, because we force trained a kid recently. Yeah, so that expires in a couple of months, and I believe we can't force train him for another year or something like that. It might be a year or two. Okay, so we can force train a kid every year, or a child can be force trained every year, but we can only train a child every 6 months. So, we're not going to be able to personally train every single one of these before the first one comes off cooldown again. No. Tormund. Tormund Giantsbane at the age of 62 is dead. Long live Tormund of Ruddy Hall. Did he have any... Him and Brienne actually never ended up having any kids, and she's 44, so I'm going to be honest. Probably not going to happen. He does deserve to be honoured with the funeral. Goodbye, Tormund. Just the start to all the court. Everybody. Lady Brienne, Daenerys... Stannis, bear in mind that's Stannis Seaworth, Davos' son. We've got Brandon, Samwell Tarly, of course. Bring them all in. What a real sad time. Is that the Night's Watch? Did that guy have the Night's Watch title? Is that the Temple of Seastone Hill? They're all fighting each other over titles now. It's very strange. Invitations have been sent to the lords and ladies of the Ram to come to the funeral. I'm really sad that we're starting to lose some of the old cast here. Some of the old guard are dying off. The best part about preparing a feast is deciding on the food stuff. We will spend lavishly. It's for Tormund. Oh, we've got some money back anyway. It's not a huge amount. Got to be careful with the amount of money we spend here. Oh, he's fat. Jon Snow would not get fat. Come on, he's not Robert Baratheon. You are You've committed much gold to this extravagant feast. In particular, the guests were impressed by the large centerpiece on the table. It represents green lawn surrounded by large peacocks. Oh my god. Don't. You're going to bring a tear to my eye. Tormund loved peacocks. It was worth the coin. Gianna spoke up and told everyone how great the food was. Who are you? Hallam Reed's wife, of course. That was well spoken. Thank you, Hallam Reed's wife. We burn them, friend or foe, they burn. Death in battle or old age, they burn. That is the way of the free folk, else the others will take them. More meat for their armies. Wood and scrap, grass and leaves, everything, even shit, is gathered for the fight. What a thing to say at a funeral. That almost killed me. Wow. All the free folk mourn in their own way. Some that know the dead talk of the past days. Some talk of their raids below the wall. Others talk of the times they fought with the Thens. The echoes, shouts of I fucking hate Thens and nearest pyre. The deceased love repeats, you were mine and I was yours. That'll be Brienne. Then the torch is put to the fuel and the great fire burns throughout the night till only the darkened ash remains. Tormund of Ruddy Hall died from too much drinking. He was a man who was remembered of being fond of wine and ale, as well as possessing immense strength. He was a well-respected swordsman, being one of the more capable in history. Goodbye, Tormund. One of the first... Tormund's dead. Davos has died as well. Skimming about, Samwell Tarly, I couldn't handle it. That would break my poor little heart. What quality of education will we purchase for Krasanis? Obviously the best possible, so it's 40 gold, gives him some learning, which in turn gives him bonuses to his education. What are you good at? Thrift or diplomacy? I feel like thrift seems a bit more appropriate, or maybe diplomacy, I guess, if we want to try and convince people to join our cause. Thrift would be good for founding and managing a whole new realm. A child's learning skill is a primary attribute for that education outcome. So in this, learning is entirely the thing that the education depends on. So, I don't know, really. He's got good learning. Let's go for a stewardship education. I think that's a bit more appropriate. Help manage the realm, build a new area, manage the troops. You know, he can sort out the stockpiles, the inventory, the people working for us. I feel like this is a bit more of an appropriate education for him here. Right, this is, this is a little bit overwhelming. Alright, can we force train you again? Still not. Oh, I thought it only took a year. Has a year seriously not passed? We've had that much happen in a year. It's the funeral. Funerals made me forget all scale of time. So that expires when? 8 through 15. So 9th, 3rd of the 9th. So we've got... Oh, next month. That's pretty good. Who are you? Arion Marsh, a Cranagman. I don't know who the hell you are. I don't know why you're in my court, but I will... give him 10 gold to keep him happy. Sure, well, I mean, he loved us anyways. That was kind of a waste, but never mind. No, like I said, I'm going to keep definitely on top of this child training. This needs to be our first and foremost priority. Oh, we can't because he's wounded? Shit. Oh, right, we need to hire a new maester. I keep forgetting that. Call for a physician at once. He's got the flu. Thank God. We've got ourselves a Northman by the name of Master Lawrence. He's a metallurgist. He's an expert on all sorts of metals. He's also got a million different links here. And, of course, he's a maester, so he has a decent amount of learning. A famous writer composes your family chronicles. That seems pretty appropriate, all things considered. Daenerys is pregnant again. How old is she? She's 38. So they are getting on a little bit now. We're definitely quite far past the end of the series. Kept our realm together, which was one thing I was concerned about, that we would immediately have the title revoked. Tame a dragon. I think that would suit Jon Snow. Now that he's the Targaryen, he basically has to follow in the footsteps, doesn't he? I'd like to have a family dragon, because obviously Drogon, when that happens, when Daenerys dies, he's just going to go nuts and obviously run off somewhere. We've got Rhaegal, who is just in a random court. We still can't invite her. Prohibited from moving courts again. No. Samwell Tarly. He had heartbane. Died of poor health. He died of being fat. No, Samwell Tarly. All the running he did along the wall. And all that time he... Oh my god. My friend Samwell Tarly deserves to be honoured with a funeral. This is a real sad time, huh? House Tarly still lives, though. 2 living members. I think we need to make sure that Randall Tarly, Sam's son there, doesn't completely disappear. He's astute like his father, fashionable and greedy. Like his father. That's probably why he died. Let's give him a diplomacy education. Let's make sure House Tarly lives to fight another day. We will marry you off. That's not the marry button. Let's marry him off to preferably a nice highborn lady. We've got House Aaron. That seems a good one. House Aaron seems okay. And I believe that's also Arya's... Wait, so Arya Stark, Jon's sister, which we now can't find because obviously it's of a separate house. Right, let's see if we can find them in the court here. So Jon the Just, sorry, friends with Brandon. So Brandon's, it was Arya married Robert Aaron, or Robin Aaron, sweet Robin. They had one daughter, Anya Aaron. I very much doubt House Aaron is going to live much beyond that, seeing as he's got cancer and he's got severe illness and he's frail and falter anyway. I might actually break that betrothal. and instead marry her off matrilineally, otherwise House Arryn dies. So let's marry her off matrilineally to obviously not a member of my house. How dare you? Who have we got who's around her age? Osric Stark? Who is Osric Stark? Brandon's son. No, because that's the last surviving member of House Stark in that case. Jormund Ilvar. He'll do. Oh, I don't know who it is, but he'll do. Why the hell not? Osric, you also need to be married off. Let's go... Oh, not matrilineally, preferably. Let's arrange betrothal between him and... I don't mind giving him to a member of House Targaryen. That could work. Lyanna or Daenora. Daenora will do. I don't think they'll become too inbred either. Because that's actually not his brother. That's his cousin. Brandon is his cousin. And this is his cousin's children marrying... Yeah, no, they're not too inbred at all. That's fine. It's like quite a few generations removed there. Alright, Osric Stark. So House Stark is alive. House Arryn is staying alive. We need to make sure House Tarly stays alive. That's the other important one to do here. As arranged marriage, just marry him off to anyone. I really do not care who then. Saw age, and let's go around the age of 14. Woodwright, Kenwick, Laxley. Looking for a decent house as well. Sure, she'll do. Why the hell not? Boom, there we go. Nice. Who is this? This is a Stark, I believe, so you can be training Thrift, because that's always a good one to pick. The houses are alive. We're good. Nothing to worry about. Who will invite to the funeral of Samwell Tarly? Or the court of Velvet Peak, naturally. Everybody who knew him, bring him in. I'm obviously going to spend lavishly on this. It was Samwell Tarly. He loved food, and he was also a great friend of Jon Snow, so I feel like spending as much money as possible on this one would be good. Lord Robert spoke up, Robert Arryn, spoke up and told everyone about how great the food at my feast was. I'm really glad someone was kind enough to say something nice about the food, given how hard I worked to ensure that it was the best part of the feast. Thank you. 3 days have gone since Samwell passed away. The body was cleaned, prepared for burial, and wrapped in a shroud and laid at the base of a weirwood tree. Kith and close kin arrive to mourn, with each placing offerings for the dead around the body. As darkness draws in, the gathering party make their way to the Godswood as the Elder Kingsman, hooded and cloaked in heavy linen, proceeds forward carrying the runic weirwood staff. Was he Old God? He was by the end of it. I guess that's, you know, after seeing all those weird mystic shit beyond the wall, he just happened to convert. Or, you know, maybe Jon Snow influenced him a little bit. Soon as the ritual is concluded, those closest to there gather at the body and carry it to the grave where they offer their final farewells. Samwell Tarly died of poor health on the 9th of 4th moon, 8316 at age 40. He was a man and was a knight of the highest honor. He was not. That's a lie. Samwell wielded the Valyrian steel blade Heartsbane, the ancestral blade of House Tarly. Holding a funeral will be removed. He didn't really have anything nice to say, unlike Tormund. To be fair, they did say Tormund was an alcoholic, drunkard idiot. Tiala Stark Targaryen. You will also be trained in Thrift. Let's go random, see what we end up with. Rhaella. Rhaella's a good Targaryen name. Plenty of good Targaryens named Rhaella. Feast. Don't trust you. Get out of here. I really don't trust this guy. I don't want to die. Daenerys, fine. You know what? You need a job on the council. Let's put you there. And Brandon Stark, the priest. He seems pretty appropriate, seeing as he was a green seer, so he would know all. Making for a good spy master, you'd assume, right? How is he also not an incredibly good spy master? He knows everything. 6 intrigue. Green dreams. I suppose it works differently in the show than it does in the books. Very odd. My lord, my skimming velvet peak was born fruit. I just go to plot where he seeks to kill somebody. I don't know. Thank you. How are these fabrications not going through? So we only expect one every 5-6 years. Oh, wow. 7 years. Patience is a virtue, but sometimes it gets on my nerves. My son, Krasanis, never loses his temper. That's great news. Patient and diligent. This kid is awesome. He's actually genuinely good. And obviously, he does have that congenital trait as well. And he's just... No, he actually had a chance again just to gain temperate instead. But that's not a big deal. I think we can gain just fairly easily. My lord, for some time I've been in the employ of Archmaester Ryam. He wants to leave the Citadel, of course. No, we don't need you. I don't know who you are. Oh, House Linderley is quite high. Quite a high house. King's adding trial by combat. Sir Gawain Whitehead demanded trial by combat from the High Septim and proved his innocence by slaying his opponent. What happened to Gregor Clegane then? I thought he was the champion of the High Septim. Oh god. The High Septim might not have always been the High Septim. He had 3 children, all of which were killed by the White Walkers. His underground network in King's Landing is clearly not going as well as he hoped. What happened to Gregor Clegane? That's what I want to find out. I can't see him on the list. We'd notice him very, very easily, trust me. Robert Strong, there he is. He's still alive. 52. I don't think he can actually die. Bear in mind, he's got Silent Monster. He's undead already, so I don't think he's ever... He's only got 12 Martial. How does Silent Monster give -8 to his... Oh, but it probably gives to his personal combat. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, no, that's very much understandable. Daenerys Stark Targaryen will be educated in... Stewardship? Sure, we'll spend... Obviously, we need a good backup heir, because we've only got one kid. Don't get me wrong, the first heir is very, very good, and definitely someone we want to inherit here. Diligent, patient, obviously incredible. Appealing as well. Still wounded, though. My God. We can't send him off on a foreign tour. We can't train him. We can't do anything with him until he stops being horribly wounded. Why does he keep taking us over to Winterfell? Get out of here with that. I don't care about Winterfell. Okay, I'll get it. It's a wasteland. Jesus. Now, how do we stop winter? That's another thing I've got to consider. Because it's one thing to kill the White Walkers, but will that stop their sort of magical winter spell they've got over everything? Get out of here. I'm not attending your... I don't trust you, Master Taicho of Pentos. I think you will have his neck slit. You notice Crusader is being very stubborn when he plays with other children. I'll explain why being stubborn is wrong. Is stubborn any good? No, it's just actually just a negative. Okay, do not do that. There we go. He's heeded our advice. Thank you, Crusader Stark. Now, we can marry him off. He's 14. Who would make for a suitable wife? I mean, she has Wise, which gives +5 to everything, which would be incredible. Are there any prodigies is the real question. Let's take a look. Reset all. Let's go nothing. Actually, nothing at all. Really? Oh, no, it's called... What's it called? Like, Brilliant? Wise? I don't think I've renamed it in this mod yet, which I'll have to remember to do. Otherwise, it gets very difficult to try and find the trait. It's called Brilliant, but the issue is, of course, that there are obviously a lot of other traits also called Brilliant. Brilliant. Looking for people with... either Brilliant Steward or Brilliant Commander, obviously both count. We're looking for people who don't have a particularly high education. So why don't we sort by Marshall and look right at the bottom. Oh, God, this is going to be so difficult to find anybody. Fuck it. You know what, we'll just go with Wise. There was somebody already in our court with Wise. That's good enough. That's the equivalent of Genius in the base game. So I'm being a little bit too picky, I think, if that's not good enough. Where was she? Sort by age, and then she was... There she is. 13 years old, so only a year younger than him. She is House... Tinagid, Mountain Clansman. Oh, God, that seems a bit bad. They worship the old gods, though, which is fine. Oh, but hang on, he's Faith of the Seven and Northman. How has this happened? Very weird. Okay. I think she's still the best choice, even if she is a bit of a backwards tribesman, but that's fine. Welcome to the kindly noble Jon. Your wisdom and mercy are legendary. You have accepted the betrothal. And there he is, 15 years old, and he immediately springs to basically being fully grown. Missandei is also dead. Missandei of Narth. She is gone. Daenerys is going to be livid. Died of diarrhea. Wow, that kind of sucks. None of these characters have had glorious deaths, but I guess that is Game of Thrones down to a T, right? Robb Stark gets stabbed in the gut. Sandor dies of an infected wound. Well, I guess he technically hasn't in the books either, has he? Spoilers. Drogo died of an infected wound. Robert Baratheon gets killed by a damn pig. My lord, news from Pentos in the trial by combat. I don't care. Received a message from the Sunset Kingdom. Sir Lothar of the Night Fort. No way there are people still alive at Castle Black. How have they not grabbed that? Castle in the Nightfall. They actually... Everywhere else is a ruin, but somehow people have survived. This 10-year-old boy survived at the Nightfall. We set sail for Westeros? Nah, they can handle a few snarks and grumpkins. Strange demons made of ice and snow? Sure, it's a myth. We have no idea what they're talking about. Daemon has developed a wild habit for parties. Nothing I can do. There is nothing I can do. Lustful trait is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, we're going to have to leave this episode here for today. Thank you all for watching. This has been a pretty good one, I think. Good for character development. Again, when Jon Snow is dead and the last of the original sort of OG Game of Thrones generation dies, that's when we can really open things up here and sort of play as we see fit. Play for the realm, not for the character of Jon Snow. Because I know I don't really do this too often with characters, so I'm trying to stick to him a little bit more than I normally would. But I know after that, things are going to speed up quite significantly. So enjoy it while it lasts, kids. Thank you all for watching. Let's give a shout out to our insane top-tier level patrons for making this series possible in the first place. A big thank you to... Was my music muted then? Did you hear that? Big thank you to Harik, Alpha Scuff, Asuna Kirito, Atmosis, Average Gamer 419, Baniel, Sidini, Conspired Sea, Crosis, Escape, Facuna Vasquez, Tom Terror 18. Is my... What's wrong with the... Oh, God, is my microphone fucked? Are we good? Oh, no, we're fine. Oh, my God, I had a heart attack then. Sorry. I saw that my microphone was not working as intended. Let's try that again. Alright, let's pretend that never happened. And let's give a big shout out to all of the insane top tier level patrons. A big thank you to Harik, Alpha Scuff, Asuna Kirito, Atmosis, Average Gamer 419, Baniel, Sidini, Conspired Sea, Crosis, Escape, Facunda Vasquez, Heydog, Jimbo, Josh Lindeen Tesla, Michael Mullen, Necrophilin, Pelvis Presley, Sean Thornton, Smirtworm, Tom Turner 18, Vacuous Backers, Wolfsen, and Zazie 7011 for the support and the levels on Patreon. Thank you very much for your support. And a big thank you as well to Nathaniel Lindberg, Gray, Llewellyn Thomas, Asaro, Betimus Max, Chris, Crazy Pat, David Van Diepen, Don, Don Connie 217, Gabriel Van Ders, Gaz, Genji Zerka, Haji Dumar, Hancock, Harry McGowan, Icy the Great, Jay Lara, James Barnes, Euron DeVries, John Holiday, Jordan Campbell, Joseph Beard, Justin Plott, Nathan Flores, Matthew, Nick, Pantherpel, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, Sir Thor the Swede, Wolfie, Zico, Adam Person, Sidini, French Brennan, No Gilmore, and The Insane Pickle. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for keeping the channel alive. Thank you for keeping us uncensored. If these lists get any goddamn longer, it's going to take up more of the episode than time we have. Thank you all for watching.